Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A local high school basketball coach collapses in the gym.
He was unconscious and had no pulse, so at that time we were assuming this person has no signs of life.
He was clinically dead, but tonight he's alive and sharing the remarkable story of his rescue.
Heavy erosion and heavy equipment being brought in to save properties and a major thoroughfare from erosion.
But coming up first, more snow. We're expecting some tonight and a few inches coming up on Sunday. Feels like we have been saying the words more and snow three straight days now.
Yes, we have.
Like that.
That's exactly right. Ben is at Quicken Loan's Winter Blast tonight with our forecast appropriately dressed out there. Hi, Ben.
Kim and Devin, yes, we do keep saying that, but our fingers keep getting smaller and smaller as we keep talking about it. The stuff that we see tonight is going to be pretty inconsequential, but there are snow showers around. Let's get you to 4 Live radar, and some of these are kind of squally, so keep that in mind if you're around. You can see that there's some dark blue dots in the center of these snow showers, so especially in that area that's around 96 there, heading towards Ann Arbor, keep that in mind that there's going to be maybe a brief reduction in some visibility, and also on the east side heading into Macomb County towards the Lake St. Clair shoreline, and those will be around through at least the evening hours tonight. Temperatures will fall into the 20s with dry conditions expected after that, and then once we get into tomorrow, we'll stay dry until Sunday, and that's when we're going to be talking about the snow that's coming, that will start to stack up on Sunday afternoon. Oh, look what they're raising up right now. I think I've seen this sucker before. Look at that. Brand new Local 4 sculpture that's coming out here at the Ice Garden. Just one of the more gorgeous things you can see. Detroit looks fantastic. We'll talk more about Winter Blast and give you your full weekend forecast in just minutes.
Ice Garden sounds really nice when you put it that way.
It really does.
You realize it's freezing cold. All right, we'll get back to Ben here in just a bit. Now, we are learning more about a scary situation last month at Grosse Pointe South High School.
Yeah, one of the coaches went into cardiac arrest during a game and collapsed. This story could have had a tragic ending if not for the quick thinking and execution of a team of people. Jamie Edmonds has their story.
This is a story about time. In Bob Zaranik's case, it's a currency he had run out of on the night of January 10th. Zaranik is the Grosse Pointe South freshman coach. On this night, he was running the clock for the varsity game.
I looked down at the clock to kind of reset it, and I noticed there's like about 58 seconds on the clock, but then it went blurry.
Less than a minute before the second half began, Zaranik collapsed on the floor.
He was unconscious and had no pulse, so at that time we were assuming this person has no signs of life, so then we began CPR.
With time ticking and every second counting, a nurse in the stands, Kathy Richards, ran over to administer CPR. Her son, Kevin Richards, South's varsity girls coach, went for the AED, the automated external defibrillator, located in a nearby hallway.
And Colin was on the ground with him and said he didn't have a pulse. And so I ran and got the AED. I knew exactly where it was.
Certified athletic trainer Colin Karcher put the defibrillator into action, and then it did its job with a shock.
So I kind of see bits and pieces, but I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't know what I'm doing laying there.
Zaranik would go into cardiac arrest 2 more times at the hospital. A piece of plaque blocked an artery. The doctors put in a stent. Now Zaranik is thinking about how the quick action of everyone here saved his life.
Thank you for saving me.
And has given him more time with his family, his friends, and his team.
It seems like thanking them isn't enough. You know, I don't know what else to tell them.
Zaranik tells me he is so grateful, and the fact that this school had an AED and people knew how to use it made all the difference. Zaranik tells me it just wasn't his time. Live in Grosse Pointe Farms, Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
Indeed, a blessing. Okay, Jamie, thanks.
Story. All right, 10 weeks after the dock collapse and the contaminated soil spilled into the Detroit River, the landowner is responding tonight for the first time.
Revere Dock LLC has been avoiding our Local 4 defender Karen Drew's request to talk, and as you know, she showed up at their Muskegon headquarters as well as at the owner's home. Well, tonight they are issuing a statement, so let's bring in defender Karen Drew. And Karen, what did the statement say?
Well, Devin, just today, Revere Dock LLC issued a statement about the dock collapse that occurred back on November 26. It is lengthy, but does include a statement that reads, quote, "It appears that the collapse was the result of the weight of gravel placed in close proximity to the shoreline at a time of unusually high water levels." The company goes on to say it has plans to have contractors in place to begin construction of the new seawall next month. Now, the mention of the seawall is pretty interesting, since when the company first bought the property nearly 5 years ago, they told City Council they had plans on constructing that seawall, but it never happened.
We've been asking for help, and please stop doing this to the residents.
Candid Leone raised her 5 children here in the Delray community and now cares for her grandchildren.
I'm worried for my grandchildren.
I think a lot of people are frustrated with how it was handled.
The councilwoman is also worried about what is told to City Council and what is actually done. In this 2015 video the defenders obtained, an Erickson representative talks to council about building a seawall if they are approved to purchase the Revere Dock site.
The immediate phase would be approximately $8 million.
But in the actual purchase agreement, there was no commitment of building a seawall.
So that's something we're still investigating to see how that fell through the cracks, because those were commitments that were made.
I mean, this is our source of water, and these are, forever chemicals.
Talib wants the city of Detroit to keep a better eye on businesses, making sure they're permitted to do business, and also wants the city to crack down on these companies not paying their bills to the city. Remember the site along Jefferson with the sinkhole? It owes more than $35 grand in drainage fees.
When I watch my residents get their water shut off, losing their homes for less than $1,000, and now they are seeing a company like this that, thinks it's a free-for-all.
A challenged community outraged. They say there seems to be different rules for residents and businesses.
I do care for me and for my grandchildren, and I do care for the other ones. So why this government is not care about us?
Now, in today's statement, which I did post online at clickondetroit.com, Revere Dock says it is committed to fixing this situation. I did ask about the $35 grand in unpaid drainage bills. The company claims it's never been billed by the city and is seeing the bill for the first time from us. I contacted the city. They say that is not the case. They have sent bills. This is going back and forth. We're going to stay on top of it, and we'll let you know what we find out. Back to you. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, make sure to stay tuned this Sunday at 8 o'clock for our Defending the Environment special report. You'll see more of my investigative work on the Detroit River contamination concerns. Plus, consumer investigator Hank Winchester will have the latest on the toxic ooze investigation. That's Sunday at 8 o'clock right here on Local 4. Kim?
Aaron, thank you. A serious battle is being waged along the Lake Huron shoreline, and there are 2 fronts under attack. It's all happening along M25 in Sanilac County. At 4 o'clock, Paula Tutman showed us how engineers are trying to protect that busy road. Now she's back with a look at what homeowners are up against.
Right now, these snow pellets are absolutely punishing, and you can just see how high the wind is, and the waves are just coming right up over that ice cap. But take a look at that tree, and that's important because this year that tree was on land. Right now it's encased in ice, but for all intent and purposes, it's actually now in the water. You've lost 50 feet of property this year alone.
Yes.
Yep. The before and after pictures from Norm Adam and Jenny Petlesky are startling. A tree that sat at a lazy shoreline edge this summer is now a casualty of Lake Huron in Lakeport, south of Lexington. A rock on a sandy beach has been completely swallowed by 10-foot waves. The rocks and pebbles that line the shore are now being hurled by the waves at anything in their path.
It takes these beat rocks and it just tosses them. You can see them laying on the ground here. That's the waves taking them and throwing them.
And there's a yeoman's effort to save a final shoreline tree. It probably won't work. Norm and Jenny call this the resort, but they are resorting to desperate measures themselves to stave off Mother Nature, a battle man can only prolong, but rarely wins. Slightly better luck north of Lexington in Sanilac Township, where erosion threatened the major thoroughfare of M25. But fast action on the part of MDOT and the Sanilac County Roads Commission has actually fooled the waves for now. Had it not been caught in time, the road would have been shut down, choking off the main throughway to the Thumb. But by next week, the road project to shore up safe passage will be complete. For now, but it's just a $300,000 Band-Aid. The real fix will have to wait until fall. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
And where will the water be come the fall?
Exactly.
Because it's high again. Yep.
All right, time now for a check of the national stories you'll see ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News.
Let's head to Lester Holt, standing by in New York with a preview of what's coming up tonight. Lester.
Hey, Kim and Devin, late details of the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash. There's new information that could provide some answers in the investigation. Plus, our NBC News exclusive, a look at a new way that scammers are targeting college students.
This is costing students thousands of dollars, we're talking here.
It is, and tonight the government has issued a new warning about this scam that often comes in email and appears to be from a college or university, so you may click it on. We're going to talk about how to keep your money safe when we see you coming up on Nightly News.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes or so. Lester, thanks.
New at 6.
Coming up next, shoplifters going after shoes, clothing, and more, but they find out the hard way that police know what they're up to. We've got that when we come right back.